Hey everyone, this is Ryder from Skip. I hope you're doing well. It's Wednesday, August 26th. I have a very quick video update for you on stimulus news, what Pelosi and Mark Meadows have said this morning, and more importantly, I'm going to talk about what we can do to push this stimulus effort along. Hint, it's about voting and some of the news on the mail-in voting and something we're announcing today as well. Thanks as always for subscribing. It means so much to us, and leaving comments. We're continuing to write to your lawmakers to push for more PPP funding, EIDL funding, and individual stimulus checks. Speaking of, today the IRS announced that they are sending around 50,000 stimulus checks that should have been sent several months ago but weren't. If someone owed child support, they wouldn't have gotten the stimulus check in many cases, and the IRS realized that this was a mistake, so they are sending out stimulus checks. No action is needed on your part, but that's some of the news from the IRS today. Millions of you still haven't gotten stimulus checks. We're tracking all of this for free on helloskip.com, and the IRS is hiring 5,000 more people to help with the backlog of stimulus checks and some of these mistakes they've made. First, let me talk about what's being said this morning. Mark Meadows said they reached out to Pelosi to restart negotiations on checks and unemployment benefits. Democrat and Republican leaders haven't met to discuss a broad stimulus bill since August 7th. Today, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows told Politico his staff reached out to Nancy Pelosi on Tuesday to restart negotiations on a broad stimulus bill. This includes enhanced unemployment benefits, stimulus checks, PPP funding, and more. Mark Meadows at the same time says he's not optimistic about a quick end to the stalemate on coronavirus deal. Here's what he says: I am not optimistic. I think the speaker is going to hold out until the end of September and try to get what she wants in the funding for the government during the continuing resolution. Frankly, this is the same back and forth we've heard for several weeks. You're tired of hearing it. I'm tired of reporting it, the he said, she said. And to be quite candid with you, I don't think something will be passed before the election, okay? We've been studying this every day since March, since the first stimulus bill was passed. So here's where we are today, August 26th. Most lawmakers are on vacation until September 14th. This is when they're slated to come back. Today we are 69 days away from Election Day on November 3rd, right here. When they come back, it'll be closer to 45 days. From there, we only have a month and a half, basically, until the election. So you can imagine, sure, there might be negotiations that happen here in September and October, but at the same time, many states start sending out mail-in ballots in September, towards the end of September, and in early October. So many ballots and voting will be taking place throughout this entire month of October. One of the main catalysts for a stimulus is how it will play out politically. Will it favor Republicans versus Democrats? And there's a lot of sensitivity around how that will affect November. But frankly, if we get into mid to late September and nothing is passed, there isn't much reason to pass something in October. Many people, and this is often a political game, will say, let's wait until the election is over. We don't want to rock the boat. We want to focus on getting this election done and over with, and let's see how things settle after the election. So that's why this November 3rd date, and frankly all of October and all of September, when you can start sending in mail-in ballots, is crucially important. Late last night we announced our Ballot Tracker that we just put live. You can request and track your mail-in ballot for free no matter what state or territory you're in. Basically, select your state, put in your info and your zip code, and we will tell you, number one, what exactly you need to do if you want to request a mail-in ballot. We also talk about pros and cons, mail-in ballots versus in-person ballots, and where your state currently falls. You know, we're tracking on a daily basis where states are at in terms of mail-in balloting policies. Many states are changing. All these green states, for example, will automatically send ballots to registered voters. All of the teal states, you'll have to request a mail-in ballot, but anyone can do it, anyone who's registered. And the yellow states, you can only request a mail-in ballot if you are unable to go to the polls. So this is more traditional absentee balloting. For now, for example, New York just changed their policy. They required an excuse up until last Friday, and now they've made it so everyone can request a mail-in ballot. So we're covering all of this, but states will start to send out mail-in ballots in the next few weeks, going into September and into October. You can go to trackyourballot.org to get our free tracker. You'll also be able to check on your dashboard here the status of your tracking. So if you've requested a ballot, you can mark it here. Then once you've received your ballot, you can mark it here. We share where you are in the process, and we send you reminders. Okay, have you returned your ballot yet? And by the way, in most states, you don't have to return your ballot via mail. There are drop boxes in your neighborhood, and you can also drop them off at polling stations. Now, I want to quickly talk about the concerns people have regarding mail-in balloting. It has been around for hundreds of years. There isn't strong evidence to show that fraud actually exists, even though that is being floated. Here's what happens. Each county has a voter list, and they verify the name and address of the person. So if they receive a ballot, they match up the name and address on the ballot with their current voter rolls. Now, the concern, of course, is, well, are voter rolls outdated or not, right? Do you have deceased people on the voter rolls? And states have protocols in place to ensure that we're not getting millions of deceased people casting fraudulent ballots. That hasn't happened, frankly, and states have protocols in place to stay up to date on that. I just want to say that it's projected 2/3 of people will vote by mail this year. So anyway, I wanted to share this because we're really excited. Our team has spent the last few weeks putting this together. Again, this is at helloskip.com/request-ballot, or you can go to trackyourballot.org. That's trackyourballot.org. You'll land here. You'll get to set up your tracker, similar to our other free trackers. And I'd love to hear in the comments what you're planning on doing. Do you plan on doing mail-in balloting? Are you trying to go to the polls on election day? Where are you leaning right now? Finally, in COVID news, the trends are still positive in the US. Cases are going down. The 7-day rolling average is now just over 40,000 cases per day. Deaths per day, again, it's declining. The average is now finally dipped under 1,000 per day. As always, if anything real and substantial happens between Meadows and Pelosi, we'll be the first to tell you. Right now, it's the same old, back and forth. Bottom line, here's where we're at. We're talking about 69 days until the election, a couple weeks until Congress comes back. We have a window of opportunity to push for change now, and if we don't get change before the election, we can at least cast our vote for not only the president, but also for lawmakers. Who do you want in Senate and in Congress? That's also just as important, because millions and millions of you are facing an eviction crisis. We need something to help with this. Thanks as always for subscribing to our channel, supporting us, and leaving a comment. And do check out trackyourballot.org for free ballot tracking for this election. Thanks as always, stay healthy and take care.